And welcome to the 5K. This is another First Home Mortgage 5K brought to you by the Elmendorf Group. A huge opportunity for our pro players today. We got, of course, 5,000 pro points per player going to that first place team. The X Games, we're taking the top 8 squads after our first 3 coming from COD Champs. The next 5 all based on those pro points. So we have some huge matches today, especially for teams that are in the running. It looks like Optic Nation and TK might have their spot secured. But other squads, FaZe Red, FaZe Black, Curse Orange, and Strictly Business, all of them on the bubble. Only 3 more will move on. Today's tournament basically going to decide who will be fighting for the gold medal in Austin, Texas, June 6th through the 8th. Today, I'm joined by 2 very special guests, my co-casters from Illinois. We have Gandhi and Maven on the line. How you guys doing today?
Good. I was a little bit shocked there. He never stops, but always scares us.
Yeah, fantastic, though. This is going to be a fun one. Like you said, I was trying to tweet it out before we started here. I was trying to get the exact breakdown of, the bubble there, who's going to be in, who's going to be out. And I think I got my head wrapped around it.
Yeah, so the way I looked at it was if FaZe Black wins this tournament, they'll have at least 8,000 pro points over everyone else in this one tournament. You add that all up together, I think they would edge out Strictly Business, even if Strictly Business gets second. So FaZe Black, they know they win, they're almost in. However, that doesn't account for all the smaller tournaments they may have participated in this week.
Yeah, see, I thought someone said SB can't get placed within the top 4 if FaZe Black wins. So I don't know. Yeah, I wanted to break it down, but this is going to be interesting.
Well, regardless, that's not a possibility because these 2 teams meet up in winners bracket, or not winners bracket, round 4 of the 5K. Yeah. So we will never have to worry about that situation. Whoever wins between FaZe Black and Strictly Business should theoretically make it to X Games.
Now, already our squads have made some roster changes. Strictly Business, knowing that Methods is too young to compete, went out and picked up Fizzerp, who has a lot of pro points. So that's going to help them with their seed coming into this tournament. Also, Curse Orange, knowing that Kroster didn't have enough pro points. Kroster says, guys, feel free to replace me for this one event. They went out and they had a big pickup as well in Saint, who filled in for FaZe Black at UGC Niagara. So some interesting storylines to follow today. How are these squads going to face off? Let's take a look at the bracket here, guys. Starting with the top, I want you to break it down into quadrants for me. Tell me, what do you think is the toughest one? In our top quadrant, we got Evil Geniuses, we got TGA, 5K11. That's going to be Phazinator playing with Felonies, Fatalize, and Rizma. Elevate, another team to look out for here. And then in the next quadrant, FaZe Black already through to the top 32. We see a Merkin squad as well as Strictly Business. So, Scott, like you said, this is really that main quadrant we all have eyes on today.
Yeah, I think everyone's anxiously waiting to see what's exactly going to happen with SB versus FaZe Black. And as we all know, it comes down to who's better online, at least for a little bit. And I mean, in that scenario, you got to kind of favor FaZe Black, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, FaZe Black won, the last 2K that we all did together. Yeah. So, I mean, the only real change between now and then was obviously the MLG ruling with regards to the Bison. But outside of that, I mean, I think FaZe Black recently and TK have really been the 2 most dominant teams in these online, on tournaments on Sunday. So I think they certainly have a shot. I know we'll be pulling for FaZe Black to see if they can pull us out because they're kind of the underdogs going into try and get into the X Games. Biased.
Another squad that's kind of an underdog, Curse Pro Points. So this is Curse Orange. I have a feeling these guys have a lot of pressure on their backs today. They're coming in with some pro points, but not enough to guarantee a spot. They know they got to finish top 4 and ideally finish higher than Strictly Business and FaZe Black. Can they do it? If you look at it, they're on the opposite half of the bracket, so potentially they would meet up against one of those 2 teams. But here in this next quadrant, we have Curse Orange. We have a pickup squad. Let's see who they'll be playing against. Their first matchup going up against Spoof and Evasions, guys I honestly have not heard of. So shouldn't be too bad getting into the top 32. But from there, their real competition going to go up against Sinister. We have an Ambush squad playing and Wild Gaming, always a team to look out for. But how comfortable are you saying that Curse Orange should be able to push to a top 4?
Well, that's where I got a lot of response. I think Kroster said Curse Orange isn't guaranteed a spot. Then Miyagi said they are guaranteed a spot. So I don't know where they actually have to place, but I don't think it's a stretch for them to place in the top 4. They certainly have several players that really perform well online.
Yeah, Attach is definitely a beast online.
Yeah,
and just being around each other. I don't think Attach is in the house. I think he's still in California. So if they give host to him, as scumbaggish as it is, they're definitely gonna have an advantage playing on California host.
Yeah, we got to see how this all plays out. But they're certainly a team. I don't see any reason why they couldn't place in that top 4 spot.
All right, moving down the list, we got Curse Black, Carnage facing off in the round of 32. Envy is looking to move on to play Aimpoint. And actually, I just got an invite from Nameless. I think that's going to be our first match of the day here, boys. Jumping in for a battle for the round of 32. Of course, right now, Envy and this team facing off in the round of 64. Moving through the bracket, though, I think it's going to be Curse Black and Envy meeting up to see probably Curse Orange at the top here. And then down in the next quadrant, TK looks to be set to make another run today. Orbit is a squad to look out for, as well as Justice, I think, probably going to be their toughest opponent before possibly meeting up with Vex Gaming, FaZe Red, or who else is in here? There's another squad I was looking out for.
Well, Orbit is,
Vex,
if we're correct, that is all the XGN guys, correct?
Yeah, they got bought out, I believe. So that team should be good. I mean, we've been doing so many of their matches online. They struggle at domination, but everything else they seem to be good at. So as long as they can pull out one dom.
Well, and obviously at Niagara, they looked quite impressive in taking down who is now EG. So that'll be a fun one to watch out for.
I'm continuing on through the bracket. We got Optic Gaming and a separate quadrant from FaZe Red and TK. So that's good news for Optic. Here, who would they have to face off against? We do see just a bunch of last-minute rosters. No official big-name teams to be afraid of until you see things like Kaliber Fuse, who has had multiple top 8 finishes, including a top 4 in the last 3 weeks. Vex Revenge, a squad to look out for from Canada. And then Optic Nation, of course, the big dogs. Everyone was looking for that Optic Nation, Optic Gaming match at Niagara. It didn't happen. Will we see it today in the online tournament? Guys, how far do you think Optic Gaming goes today?
Well, I think it depends on how Comcast treats them today.
Yeah, I know they've been having difficulties lately, but just kind of the way you described at least their quadrant, I certainly could see them going very far. And
for sure.
Do we know, are they playing with any subs at all today? I think it was Bose filled in the other day for Clay, was it?
Yeah, Clay was getting ready to move in there. I think he has a couple days left, but with this money on the line, I would assume Clay is playing, but I'm not sure. Puckett, do you know that?
I'm looking at the roster right now. Full squad. Clayster, Nadeshot, Proofy, and Scump today.
Well, I got to think they're going to be playing their hearts out today. Yeah. One, with all the money that's on the line. I mean, this is the biggest kind of Sunday tournament we've had, so especially for like the 2K, 5K series. And you got to think they're a little heated about their results this past weekend at Niagara. So I got to think they're going to come out fired up.
Scott, what gamer tag are you boys on today?
Scott Gandhi, I'm sending you a message right now so you can get it.
I couldn't get into the Envy match, but we got ourselves a TK matchup here. Going to get right back into the action. Apathy back home, playing with the squad once again. Scott, is there space anywhere in there?
Yeah, Scott Space Gandhi. I just sent you a message, so you should be getting it in a second.
Game invites coming your way. I'm on board with the Ghost team, and let's get right into the action here. Mr. Ronald, we got our first match of the day, TK. Fighting for a spot in the round of 16, going up against Invader, Fizzer IH, Skyline Mizuno, and T-Fly. T-Fly really the only name that I've seen consistently in these 2Ks. So far, it looks like his squad's struggling to get B control. Let's actually switch over to watch this Team Kaliber lineup. Now, this is a team that won the 2K prior to FaZe Black taking it. Now Apathy's back on the lineup. Guys, how good is this Team Kaliber squad, and what did they look like to you at Niagara without Apathy?
Well, with Madcat's definitely a beast. I thought it was really good to just see him on this squad and just kind of like filling in for Apathy. It was on like a 7-week cruise. It's what it seemed like, at least. So Apathy is definitely a good pickup for this team. I mean, he was like Mr. Clutch at regionals. He was very, very good throughout the entire duration of that, and then he still did well at champs. So what's he going to bring to TK? Well, I don't know. I think they need that kind of clutch player. I really do.
Yeah, no, he's a strong player for this team, and I mean, TK has been the most consistent player in these tournaments recently. So I certainly expect them to do well. We'll just have to see how the long break has an effect on Apathy, as I can't imagine, when he was traveling on a cruise, he was playing a whole lot of Call of Duty.
Right. So Apathy trying to get back into it. Taking a look at the scoreboard, Neslo has the hot hand early on, 8-3 with 2 captures already. He's been their primary player. Looking over at B. And Scott, I see you're still not in the game. Did that invite come to you?
Are you on the 360 or something?
We're 360ing it right now.
Well, that's good to know.
That would explain it. Yeah, we're waiting for the invite, Chris, and it wasn't coming, so I figured we had a bit of a mix-up here. We're getting switched over, and then we'll be able to hop right in.
We'll get you guys in a moment. For the meantime, we have Team Kaliber up 11 points here in domination. 2 minutes still to go on Sovereign. They did just lose B. Apathy going up top control tower. Let's see what damage he can do here. All 4 members up for TK, so I like the fact that they're waiting for each other to spawn before making their moves. However, C being neutralized, they're no longer scoring any points. A 3 cap now against Team Kaliber by a squad that is really a pickup team for this tournament. First one together.
Yeah, and this will be a good one. I'm excited to get in there. The one switch we will have, we are going to be now on, since 360 is mine, we are on My Gamer Tag now, so I can get that through to you, Chris. I'll put it through for you so you can get us into this one.
How many ends you got in that Maven?
Just one.
Just one?
It's
oh, man.
Space, Maven, space, I. Get me in there, Christopher.
I like it. We will do that at the half. 51-51, 90 seconds left to go. This is kind of scary for Team Kaliber in your very first game. Tied up. You started off so strong and then have total loss of map control. Invader starting to go big after a nice 2-piece there. He's already 14-9 with 2 captures for the opposing squad here.
Yeah, and that's what's scary about these early rounds. Teams feel, obviously teams are kind of, I guess, nervous sort of playing online to begin with, but then when you're in a best of 3, man, there's a lot of pressure there to win that first game. So this is one TK definitely has to do.
Going down early, something so scary, because then you just got to be clutch, and you cannot make any mistakes going into game 2, search and destroy. Final 45 seconds here in our first half, 10-point differential. Invader still trying to go big for the opposing squad, and it looks like Skyline is going to win this half. TK with 1 map B control in the final moments, but not enough to retake the lead.
That's interesting, man. Is this right now a best of 3 series, Chris? Or
best
is it
of 3. Yep. So this is in the round of 32, I believe. So TK has the work cut out for them. And already down, it looks like it's just going to be 8 points at the half. Unless Neslo can change things around, not going to happen. 17-13 from Neslo, and I'm looking, they're outslaying their opponents. Where's TK going wrong here? It must be just a rotation issue. Sharp had 5 captures. Neslo and Apathy had another 5, so 11 captures total for TK. On the other side, 11 as well with less kills.
Yeah, we saw that a bit this past weekend. Teams that maybe ran a little more AR heavy played a little bit slower, and I'm trying to remember the exact series, but we had a series where one side outslayed, I think it was 15 to 20 kills, and ended up losing by 15 to 20 seconds on that actual side. So, yeah, a lot comes down to positioning and rotations. Slaying won't always get it done.
Nah, not at all. Especially when you're on the 362, because the AR, as we all know, is so much more dominant than the sub. So we can see maps like Octane or Warhawk where you can kind of get around with like 2 ARs and just outslay the opposition.
Yeah, we saw one team, I think, bust out, 2 ARs on Strike Zone in one of the online leagues we were doing.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Definitely different plays between the 360 and the 1.
Who was doing that?
We are.
I don't know, dude. I think it was.
We do have the invite.
You got it. I love it.
At least it's the one thing I will give to the 360 is that I don't have to wait for the invite to pop up on the screen. I go straight in. It's very nice.
We're going in. Yeah, it's a little bit weird, the Xbox One. I have not enjoyed trying to broadcast off it.
No.
Got a bit of a learning curve.
Sometimes make me go insane.
I was like, Ron, can you crop the screen? Because I can't get this damn thing to unsnap.
Yeah, Scott almost had we've really enjoyed doing the league matches, these past couple weeks, but I think Scott almost had a mental breakdown.
No, I did. I literally had a mental breakdown. I couldn't.
It'll happen, man. It'll happen. All right, going into the second side, I believe it's 10 or 12 points, Ron. 13, way off. All right, so we're going into the second side. Team Kaliber down 13 points. What can they do off the break? Neslo playing with Gunjar, Sharp, and Apathy, the original lineup. On the other side, Skyline, T-Fly, and Mizuno playing with Invader and Fizzer for this event.
And, who are you going to start off with? I guess I definitely want to stay, obviously, on the side of
He's
TK
on TK,
here.
man.
Neslo, bro. We going Neslo off the break.
Right.
He dropped 17-3-3, or 17-9-3. Let's see what this kid is up to.
Yeah, and he definitely, well, they're currently the 5th seed, I believe. So, yeah, OGN would be the 4th. Right? They would be the 5th seed. So they probably would want to have
Neslo and the boys, they got 3rd seed overall.
Really? Oh, I figured the top 3 at champs were just penciled in. I didn't know it went by pro points.
Yeah, actually pro points here. So the seeds.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure how that worked either because I knew it was the 3 guaranteed spots. Yeah, I didn't know how the seeding went after that. So that's definitely good to know.
Next 5 highest after those 3.
Gotcha.
So, of course, Complexity number 1, Optic Nation number 2 overall, and TK, believe it or not, number 3 out of all the squads.
Christopher.
Yeah, EG, Chris.
We've been correcting each other all week because we keep saying Complexity as well.
I'm going to say Complexity at least 40 times today.
Right?
Oh, no. Oh, you have no idea how annoying it is.
Evil Complexity geniuses. All right. Neslo, again, a nice break. Gets the first 3 kills. Let's go to Apathy, though, if I can find him. He was just taken down, so we'll get to him in a moment. But 3-1 start for Apathy with the capture as well. Sharp and Gunjar struggling to slay. But Neslo and Apathy, man, with these SMGs, I really love kind of the aggressive play style that TK is bringing to the table in the second round. They were a little bit sheepish, a little more standoffish with Gunjar ARing in the back. Now everyone knows they need to capture that beat and not let it go.
Yeah, and really what you want to see out of TK is, one, you love to see Apathy up in control room. That's a huge plus. But also, if Neslo or Sharp can kind of push up and kind of get over to research, then they're just in a huge driver's seat for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And they did a really good job. I mean, they got B off the break, but unfortunately, they only held it for, 10, 20 seconds until they lost control here to Skyline. But they don't want to let this get out of hand. I mean, you said they, a 13-point deficit on that first side, so they've got to get on their horses here and try to take control early.
Sharp getting some big kills on the right side. Didn't contest C, however. Neslo just trying to clear out his base. I feel like Skyline is doing everything right. They're keeping the pressure on this squad. They're not giving up B, and they're keeping them out of their base. What does TK need to do to turn this around? Now there's 7 more points for a total of 20 down in this game 1.
Well, one, obviously you can tell that their shots just don't seem to be working out well with them, forcing these gun battles on B, so doing exactly what they're doing, which is hopping on C. By getting on C, it's going to force Skyline to rotate back and try to get their home flag, and then they can either sneak in on B or just lock down that 2-cap.
That would have been a big win there for Neslo. If he got that kill, I think he would have been able to put pressure on C. They don't even have a home cap. They're trying to 2-hop A right now, but this lead's going to continue to increase. They weren't getting any points there for a tick or 2, so they've really got to get going here. And as you can see, I mean, they have all 4 of them in a little bunch here with these new spawns, so they've got to push out. Whether they want to rotate around to C or put pressure on B, they got to work as a squad.
Love it.
On the first side, it was Invader doing the damage. Now it looks like it's T-Fly, 9-3, trying to carry Skyline to a Game 1 victory. This one starting to get a little out of hand. 2 minutes, 15 seconds left on the clock. It's do or die time. Neslo knows that he's going to have to defend himself at least once here on the C flag.
Well, he didn't see that guy coming, and now look at this. Notice how Skyline just keeps putting pressure on TK's home flag. They're at least sending one guy there, and TK can't even look at B, so this is a great start for Skyline.
B finally taken back here, it looks like. Apathy on it with partners all around them, and they're pushing for C. All 4 still up for TK here, boys.
Well, this is tough because they're down, I think, roughly approximately, I think it's like 36 right now. So as we know, that's basically, a full minute of a 3-cap. So they are in big trouble here as they're getting down to the final 90 seconds. They're going to have to start putting a lot of pressure on this C flag in order to catch up in this one. And just looking at the movement here, it looks like they're trying because they've got to start working on a 3-cap.
I'm switching over to T-Fly, man. He has been going huge. Let's find him. The man is 11-6 with 2 captures, constantly putting pressure on that B. Mizuno in the mix as well, and Mizuno looks like he's now going to put the pressure on A. Team Kaliber going to drop game number 1 if Skyline can keep this up.
Yeah, and Fizzer right now is capping A flag. So just like that, TK finally was able to get B, and then they were like, oh, you know what? We're going to flip. That's exactly how you play Sov.
Yeah, and I think, honestly, Chris, I got to think this is just a little bit of rust. Obviously, they haven't played with Apathy much. They played with Mad Cat at Niagara, and, he just got back from vacation. So I expect to see them kind of get this turned around. It's just the tough part is, like we said, we're in a 3-game series. They don't have a lot of time to get it turned around.
No.
And guys, of course, this is the number 3 seed overall on Team Kaliber, going up the number 30 seed. So interesting start here from Skyline. Will they be able to keep it up in Search and Destroy, because they made TK look bad on Sovereign. They didn't necessarily do it with the slang. It was the rotation and the pressure that I've really liked out of the Skyline crew. It's kind of that unorthodox strategy, catching the top teams off guard once again early on in a tournament.
Well, you're absolutely right. I mean, just look at the kind of KDs there for TK. Overall, I think they're only -2. So really, it's 2 kills separating, yet, 34 points on this side. So that goes to show, I mean, yes, you need gun skill. Yes, you need good positioning. But yeah, getting those rotations and moving as a team, getting a 34-point win when you basically, the slaying was pretty much even, is ridiculous.
Well, that was the big thing, too. I mean, Skyline's, that whole team, the majority of TK's kills were at their own base because they were putting that much pressure on. They had one guy always just kind of pushing up and overextending, and that just kind of, TK didn't really know how to answer it.
Well, and that it makes it tough. We talk about how when you're getting 2-capped, you're really talking with Krem, VG was kind of giving me an idea how to break out. It really doesn't matter where you go. It's more that you go as a squad, and it makes it tough when you're coming off spawn and basically getting shot at immediately. Yeah, it's tough to kind of get things rolling.
Well, guys, T-Fly started things out 8-3 on that second side. He will finish 13-8 with 2 captures. I think he was the MVP for me in game number 1 for Skyline. We're going to a quick commercial break. When we return, Team Kaliber tries to even up the score 1-1 as we head to Search and Destroy.